Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. In today's video, we're back over in the Abyssal Expedition, taking a look at the final boss. Now, I made a video for this yesterday, had a lot of DMs and all that sort of stuff and comments on the video, talking about different strategies. I wanted to remake the video, so I took the old one down while I'm recording this one. I wanted to go a bit more in depth into all the different strategies that there are, talk about them, because there's a lot of different strategies you can use for depending on like how advanced in the game you are, what heroes you have, and all that sort of stuff. I don't believe there's any one right across the board way to do it, but I wanted to go through some options, so let's get into it. So just a big thanks to everyone who did leave all the comments, all the stuff. I've had a bunch of conversations this morning with people trying to figure it out. So the basic gist is, I just want to go through at the time of recording this, if we go to the event and we go down here to this and we check time. So quiet time begins in 6 days. During this time, stamina and settlement resources shall not be generated. So you basically got 6 days left to get there. Obviously, most people are going to want to try and get to the max title, which is going to be the one, what is it, Prince? Yeah, Prince, and get those extra rewards. So there's two different ways you can look at this event: in the min-maxing, like pushing the max damage possible on this boss, or just getting it to Prince. So I'm going to take a look at the boss's skills and then talk about the different strategies, just to sort of get into that. So here we have the boss, because I've heard different strategies from different people depending on where you are. I still, like I said, I can't like narrow down on one correct strategy because I feel like it's going to be different for every person, but I'm going to do my best to explain everything and get through it. So this first one, the boss's abilities. Enemies deal 12% less damage to him for every 1 layer of insanity that is affecting them. Once an enemy is affected by 5 layers of insanity, they will turn sides and fight for the boss. Basically, that's it. This one deals damage to the 3 enemies which possess the highest amount of tenacity, and also adds 1 layer of insanity to the enemies. The tenacity effect has the ability to mitigate the insanity effect. 1 layer of insanity is inflicted upon the boss, but the boss's enemies for every 25 of his insight points that exceed the amount of his enemies' tenacity points. So basically, you want to be within the soft cap that people talk about, is you want to be within 25 points of his insight, so that he's only applying 1. Now with the might tree, which I'm not going to go too in depth into, the might tree, so for the warriors, they can actually, with furniture, because furniture actually does apply extra tenacity to them, they can get above his cap and they can last the entire fight. That is a thing. If you've been going really hard at this and you've got all like the tier 8 settlements, and you can just, if you've got infinite essence, you can go this strategy and you can probably get some maxed out damage using the warrior tree. For most people, I don't think they're going to get to the point where they can max out the warrior tree and basically survive the whole battle. It's going to be tough for the majority of people, but if you are a real mega baller, consider looking into the warrior tree, because with furniture as well, you can actually exceed the insight of the boss and you can last the whole fight with those warriors. That's just a little one. I don't want to go too in depth into that because it won't apply to the majority of people. So that's this one. We'll go back into that in a sec. I just wanted to look at this one. So he manifests 2 tentacles onto the battlefield that are attackable and controllable. Tentacles are able to inflict damage on enemies. If the tentacle expends 500 of its own energy, 1 layer of insanity effect will be inflicted upon nearby enemies. Now, between all the people I talked to, still couldn't figure out whether this is a guaranteed application or whether the tenacity can still affect that application, and whether it operates off of the boss's, like off of the sort of prerequisites of this second ability. So not 100% sure on that, but you know, tentacles applying insanity bad. So the basic thing we want to look at, there's a few different strategies we're going to go into. The first one is for a lot of people who have probably gone with the Celerity tree. So this is me in the Celerity tree. As you can see, I got the 1 relic. This one does have tenacity. So a basic overview, it's hard. I don't want to say one thing, so it's awkward because there's all these different conversations I've been having. So a basic strategy would be to go for 1 of these. In my previous one, I said 2. The reason I said 2 is because the that 25 of getting 189 tenacity. If you click this information, you can see your tenacity. So 189 is that soft cap where the boss is only going to be applying one layer. But having said that, the higher the tenacity, the higher the chance to resist it. So that's why originally I was going, in my previous video, I said go the 2 tenacity ones first. Probably don't have to, you can probably just stick with 1. Now, where do you go to after that? There's a couple strategies. So with this strategy, and we'll go to an attack right now and show you, the strategy of this one is very basic. It's have 3 heroes that have the highest tenacity above that cap to try and make them the ones that get the tenacity, and they have a chance to resist it, and then have 2 heroes below that tenacity that are going to support your team and make it happen. So one theory for this stage of the game where I'm at, and if we go look at my sustenance tree, you can see I'm only level 4, got none of the relics in there, so that's sitting pretty low at the moment. So we're going to go in here and do a test of this. So if I go attack a general team that we can try. Now there's several heroes that are really good from the Celerity tree. Iron does good damage. Cecilia is just massive for this one. She's fantastic for it. Drez is actually like one of the MVPs. I don't actually have him, so I can't use him. But Drez is one of a really good damage dealer for this as well. Things like Leica for the haste buff. So for me, with my team, I'm going to test out this. Gwyneth can be good as well, but from general, this is a pretty solid lineup. And then we can go with Rowan and Twins. So this is a concept. I'm not saying this is right, but the concept of this style of team is that you're going to have the 3 Celerity heroes, which are going to be copying the inside stacks, and then you've got your two support heroes that hopefully won't get the stacks. They will still get stacks from the tentacles, and at this stage I'm not expecting this team to do brilliant. I'm expecting the Twins to die quick anyway, just because of the tentacles. And this is where I'm going to talk about moving forward, that I want to get my support tree up to level 5 next. So let's just get into this. Let's have a look. Let's see how we go here. So if I put on 2 times speed, it's a bit more manageable. As you can see, 1 insight on the 3 Celerity heroes. Now we keep going, and we keep going. See how we go. Rowan's taking some damage. Twins are taking some damage. Twins are about to pop, which is good for us. Still 1 stack on all those guys. Twins just surviving. Still, now they got 2 stacks, so that's the boss's second attack. Now I've lost my supports, and now we're going down. So that was the basic gist of that attack. And as you can see, I actually managed to get that 150 million damage with that. So that was doable. That was doable. Sorry about my commentating. It probably wasn't great, but there we go. That got me the 151. So let's take a look at that one and take a look at where the damage came from. As you can see, Iron doing the most. You got Cecilia doing a truckload as well. Cecilia's just great for it in general. Leica, once again, not doing massive damage, but the haste buff and also the armor break, really important. And then we got those 2 fantastic support. They're the 2 optimal support. If you're at this stage of just trying to get that 150 mil attack in on the boss, that's pretty much what you want to, the sort of team you want to go for with the relics at the stage that I'm at the moment. So let's go back and have a look at it. So as you can see, we do only have that one. In my previous video, I said go the 2 tenacity. The idea behind the extra tenacity was that if you're doing 3 of these guys and 2 supports, the higher the tenacity, the more likely they can resist the insanity stack. So the idea was to avoid them completely. But for me, after this test especially, if I was there, say if that one that attack just then only did me 140 or so million damage, the next thing I'd pick up would be one of the other ones, one of these 4. They're all attack based relics, and they're gonna give me, like, as you can see, 62% attack. You're getting some good stats off these things. Crit amplification. You're getting some really good stuff. So basically, that's where I would go if I'm just trying to get that 150 mil. Now, for most people, that's the main goal. So that is the main thing you want to look to. I'm going to go into some different paths now, but the basic path for most people, and if you went either mage or you went for the might, if you went for one of those 2, mage or warriors, same thing applies basically. You want to get them above the 189 tenacity so that they can avoid getting 2 stacks from the boss, so they can keep dealing damage. and then you basically just want to use the 3 of them with the 2 supports. The Rowan and the Twins basically are the best 2, and hopefully you can get across the board. Unfortunately, I know some people won't have Twins at Elite Plus. There's going to be a lot of different variables, but that is the basics of how I got it done. Now I want to talk about different paths, because there's different optimizations you can do. In editing, I just wanted to throw this in here and tell you exactly the path that I'm going to take now. The path that I'm actually going to take is just to straight up get these 4 damage relics for the Celerity tree, because one of the requirements is here in the titles to get 5 mythic blessed relics. So if I was going complete min-maxy, I'd probably get this to level 5 and get one of the mythics for that. But because, you know, I'm not the most advanced player in this, I definitely want to get that title. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these damage ones first. That way they'll increase my damage and let me help the guild a little bit, but also it's going to guarantee me that I will be able to get this final title. So that's definitely something to consider, is if you do, it's definitely a balance between trying to completely max out the damage you can do, or playing it safe and making sure that you get to the Prince title. So that's what I'm personally going to do. Now I'll talk about some different paths that you can take. Okay, so now I'm just going to do a bit of a brain dump on ideas that people have given me, because like I said, if you are going for like those top ranks in pushing guilds, your guild's having a lot of in-depth testing and analytics, but that's a very small percentage of people. So I'm just going to brain dump some ideas for those who want to take it that step further. There's a couple ideas. So obviously, like I said, this one, where I'm at the moment with this level 4, and this here, we managed to get the 150 mil. If not, get one damage one, and you should be fine with that sort of lineup that I did use. But other ideas. General ideas of paths to go with relics. There's the idea of going this to the 1 tenacity like I am here, then taking the support tree up to level 5 and getting 1 tenacity on them, 1 tenacity relic, sorry. That will get them above that soft cap of 189 tenacity, so that they can only get applied with 1 stack from the boss. Another strategy I've heard people say is going to be that if you avoid this one and get this one instead on Celerity, you can then get the 2 tenacity ones on support, and that's going to give them higher tenacity than these guys, meaning that the support heroes are going to be the ones that get the stacks, and that's going to keep the stacks off of your DPS, meaning your DPS don't get the damage reduction, meaning they can deal the most damage possible. Another idea is the warrior tree. So the warrior tree at level 5 is going to give you, level 5 with no relics is actually going to get you above that 189 soft cap, so they're only getting the 1 application. So then they can become kind of usable if you have some really good warriors in your lineup. The other more advanced thing you can do with warriors is you can actually max out their level 5 tree with all the mythics, and if you have furniture on them, meaning they're ascended in the Whale Inn and they have the furniture, they get extra tenacity, they can actually overcap the boss's insight levels, and they can basically last the whole fight. They can last the full duration, so that is definitely an option if you're going real hard. But like I said, that is very in-depth strategies for a very small percentage of players, I feel, so I don't want to go too in depth into it, but those are just some things to look at. Doing Celerity to 1 tenacity, doing the support to get tenacity, and then maxing out the Celerity tree. Otherwise, you can look at shifting towards the warrior tree, maxing it out and getting longer lasting battles. But those are just some options, and once again, it's going to depend on what you have and what you're doing. But with this basic setup of what I've got here, that and that, using that combo that I used, we managed to get the 150 mil. We have people attacking. Here we go. We managed to get that with this comp. So definitely something to look at. And like I said, if you're just going for that 150 mil, using that team with these relics, and you don't get there, if you get one more DPS one, you should be fine. It'll get you across the board. Now, I want to talk a bit about what I spoke about in the previous video that I took down, and that is getting the other achievements for this. So I talked about scattering out, and I still believe that spreading out, if I look down here and going down to where I am, spreading out and tracking along to try and get as many of these as possible, as many of the level 6 and 7s as possible, because when you get down to these outskirts, they don't all, this one does I think, Okay, that has the faction requirement, but as you get down here, this one does not have the faction requirement, as you can see. So you can use all your heroes, none of them are getting hit stun, none of them are going to lose health. There's some pretty savage enemy teams though, but you can go ahead and beat a bunch of these and take them. I still think that's the best option to be able to maximize the amount of essence you get, especially if you're just going to try and get that 150 mil, trying to get the final title in being the prince. I feel like that is still the best strategy because it's going to give you more essence. However, there is a strategy you can do which is a little cheeky, but if you feel like you'll get all the other achievements anyway, what you can do is you can just go here, you can abandon one that you have, and don't forget the abandon now button is there. You can abandon that one and then you can attack it again. So you can, if we look at this, I'm currently on 20, I'm on 11 of 20. So if we go here and we go and attack that same one again, and we just go in with this, I don't really want to use my main team because I want to be a little bit efficient here. So, so I'll try and, let's see formations. I had some dummy formations in here. I think that'll do it, but I just want to put one more in because I don't want to fail. So if we put in, who's got a bunch? Who's got a bunch? A wilder. Let's put that in. Hopefully we get this. Hopefully we don't wipe on this. Verk and Iran should get us there, hopefully. Yep, nice. Okay. So you can actually abandon the one that you've already defeated if it was like a good lineup for you. You know the team that wins. You can do that and we can go continue attacking. Chuck in my next team, which is going to be this. We go get... Oh no, I think I needed more heroes. I didn't mean to hit... Oh no, we got it. We got it. Nice. Good team. I think we got it. Yes. Okay. So you can do that. Like I said, I was on 11, but abandoning that one and recapturing it is going to take us to... yes, we'll put Tassie in there. Is going to take us to 12. So you can actually abandon and just recapture the same one to go ahead and get those tier 6s. But once again, I don't recommend doing it. I feel like you're going to get higher returns on just essence by actually capturing a bunch of them. Although it will be stamina less efficient. But I feel like having stamina but having weak relics isn't as good as having good relics and less stamina. But just an idea. But if you're really struggling to get those tier 6 settlements, just abandon and recapture and you're pretty much good. And then the tier 8 one, you're pretty much probably going to have to either wait till the very end of the event or get some of your guildmates to help you out with that one. It's probably, I'm just going to wait till like the last 2 days. If I still can't do a tier 8, I'll get guildies to help me out. And that is pretty much going to be it for getting all those ones. Obviously, we need to get the 5 mythic blessed relics. So, you know, you need that essence to be able to do it. So I definitely think that is a last resort on abandoning recapturing. I definitely think you want to try and maximize your essences to be able to get all of the mythic relics that you need. Anyway, that is going to be it for this one. Sorry if it got a bit confusing. The boss just gets really in depth with the tenacity, insight, and insanity. But I hope hopefully it made sense. Hopefully it made sense that with some mythics, you should be able to get there. Anyway, that is going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.